Only 9% of people that set off with the New Year's resolution will actually see it to completion. That means over 90% will fail. A lot of them, a majority of them, about 80% will fail by February each year. That means within 2 months of starting and having new goals, setting new aspirations and dreams for your life, a lot of those things will be abandoned in less than 60 days after the new year has started. That's devastating news. And the news doesn't get much better for people that decide to get into business for themselves. I've got a note card here to go over some stats that I pulled using AI. So this is what I found out. I found out that 23% of all new small businesses fail within the first year. Now let's fast forward 5 years into business. It says that 49% of all small businesses will fail. And then by 10 years in business, it's around 65% of all businesses will fail. That is devastating, hard information and data to take in. You may be asking yourself like, wow, we're starting on a really low note. That's true. I wanted to start with a good, solid dose of reality in today's video, because I think there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of positivity that we're going to talk about today, but it needs to be grounded in the reality that is life. I think all optimistic outlooks on life need to be rooted in a realistic foundation, okay? Because the truth is that life is hard. The truth is that 90% of people that have goals, aspirations, and dreams will abandon them within 60 days of each year. Whether that's to get healthy, whether that's to read more books, whether that's to start exercising and strength training, whether that's to start your own business, a lot of those dreams will be abandoned. And then within the businesses that actually do start, the people that the 9% that actually start the business and see it to fruition, only about 65% of those will be around in 10 years. That's crazy, right? Well, it's not all doom and gloom here. We're going to talk about a couple different tips and tricks that I believe will help you see those dreams, see those goals come to fruition. But to get there, let's start at the very bottom, the most devastating reality that we can talk about. My name's Matt, I'm with RAR TCG, and I thank you so much for tuning into this video. This is a really important one for me. I think there's a couple nuanced takes we're going to talk about here. I promise it's not all doom and gloom, and I promise it's not all rainbows, sunshines, Pikachus, and Piplups, okay? Like, this is going to be a real life, real talk video that I think can benefit anybody watching this, whether you're aspiring to get healthy, you're aspiring to start your own Pokemon card business, or you're just aspiring to post videos on YouTube and become a YouTuber on any genre. All of this can help you prepare to be successful. Okay, and that's the main takeaway here, is that we're all doing our best to be successful. And so let's talk about it. Why do people fail? Well, a lot of times we set goals with big dreams and aspirations in mind, but we don't think about the little steps, the micro habit changes, and what really goes into making those things become reality. One of the best things that I ever learned, I used to be a pastor, and now I work in the tech industry, and there's a whole story there that maybe sometime I'll share and everything like that, and I'll share a little bit actually in this video because it actually pertains to this. But that's going to be towards the end. So be sure to watch the whole thing, right? Wink, wink. No, if you tune out in the next 30 seconds, I appreciate you being here as it is. So here's the deal. This is what I learned, okay? We like to cast vision in our life. In the church world, this is a huge deal. We have this vision, this big picture vision of where we're going, right? We have this end goal in mind. You can think of the vision as the destination, okay? In The Wizard of Oz, they're on the yellow brick road to the Emerald City, like the Emerald City is the vision. Like, that's where we're going, right? That's where we're going. But the actual steps it takes to get there is the actual systems and processes that you have to do the hard work to put in place to enable yourself to get on that yellow brick road. This is how I learned about it, okay? The vision is the destination. That's where we're going. But the systems, processes, and procedures that we need to put into place to get to that is the railroad track that's going to carry us there. You need to think about your dreams both from a 30,000 foot high view, which is to see the destination, and then you also need to zoom into your dreams, get really close to them so you know exactly what the next step or the next railroad kind of tie you need to tie into, okay? You're gonna lay that next brick, you're gonna pave that next step of the road, and you do that by getting really, really granular with your dreams. By doing this, you now understand what's the next little step you need to take, because if you're just looking at the destination, but you're not familiar with the ground that you're walking on, chances are you're gonna head into some dangerous territory because you're not looking down at where you're heading. There's a lot of danger there, but if you zoom in really, really close, you can start paving the way. You can start shining a little lamp on the next step that you need to take. It's actually this really beautiful thing. So let's take this I'll give you an example from my life. So about 3 going on 4 years ago, I started training strongman. I love strongman. If I remember, I'll throw some videos up while I'm in this conversation right now. Log press is my favorite event. I love like overhead presses. It's so much fun, but I've done tractor carries. I've done yoke carries. I've done farmers carries. I've done deadlifts, just a lot of different strongman stuff. But when I started, I was really, really weak, y'all. Especially considering just how old I am. Like, I'm in my 30s, and I've lived a lot of life. I'm an adult, right? But I had never, in all of my life, have never committed to going to the gym, and especially have never committed to strength training. Now, you may not know this, but when it comes to fitness, there's a lot of different avenues that you can pursue fitness in. It's actually this beautiful thing. You can be a runner. You could swim. You could walk. You could play pickleball. You could do endurance training. You could do bodybuilding. Like, you could do 100,000 different things. And each one of those different avenues, each one of those sports, athletic adventures, each one of them has its own set of skills and expertise and muscle memory and form that you need to learn. And even between similar kind of genres of fitness like powerlifting and strongman, they're worlds apart. Like, they are not the same. Even though both athletes are training to get stronger and stronger, the set of criteria and rules, the different set of competition events that you do are so vastly different that it takes, like a strongman could step over into powerlifting, and maybe they would do above average, but they're not going to come anywhere close to the professional powerlifter that's there. And vice versa is true. So 4 years ago when I got this whole journey started, I was working out with my best friend Luke. He's the one that wrangled me into it. He just needed a gym partner, and I was like, I'll be the gym partner. You have to understand, like, I come from, like, my entire life, I went to a fine arts high school. I was in theater, opera. They forced me to do dance in middle school. I was like in ballet. I had to wear tights, and oh my gosh, like, anyways, I just said that on video. It's true, guys. There's nothing wrong with it. Talking about physical fitness, dancers have amazing physical fitness. Dancing wasn't for me though, but there's some really scary like middle school photos and probably videos out there of a performance that I did at some point. I'm not going to throw those pictures up on screen because I've tried to block that out of my memory, and the fact that that spilled over and I'm still talking about it is going to haunt me that I put this in this video. But anyways, fine arts is what I was about. In college, I studied vocal performance. My whole kind of goal in college was to get a degree because I'm the first male in my like family tree to complete college and get a degree. Super exciting. My mom is the first person ever in my family to get a college degree and do all of that. And so I like first, second generation kind of thing. I say I'm the first guy to do it, but truly my mom was the first, and she's definitely my hero that I look up to in that way. Super strong-willed person that went to college anyways. Oh, there's a whole life story I'm not gonna go into. So listen, what I'm trying to say is I did choir and I sang professionally, and by that time I was working in ministry for over a decade as well at different churches doing the pastor stuff. And here my friend is telling me to get involved with him at the gym. And he's invited me a ton of times. He was the best man at my wedding. He's this huge guy, just dwarfs everyone around him. And I got started, and he introduced me to strongman, and it really stuck. But here's the deal. This is where we're all going to tie it back in, right? The vision, where the destination we're going is. I looked at Luke. Okay, I watched Luke deadlift 550 pounds while I'm struggling to deadlift 225 pounds. Okay, I'm a big guy, and in my mind I'm like, I should be able to do this weight. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to do that. And then I see Luke do 550 like it's nothing, and that is a little bit discouraging. Because in that moment, I'm so busy comparing myself to my vision, to my goal, to my destination, that I'm not realizing that I'm not there yet. I'm so focused on seeing the destination that I forget to take account for where I'm actually at, to be self-aware, and to realize that I haven't paved the road yet. I haven't laid the bricks yet to get to where I want to go. And as soon as I had that true realization, it all started clicking. It was after my first strongman competition. I trained really, really hard for about 8 to 9 months, and my friend Luke and I, we jumped into competing. He actually, he placed and got to go to nationals. I got last place in the novice division of the competition we were in, and it like triggered something in me. I realized something. I realized that I was proud. I was so proud of the work I put in, of the progress that I saw, and I was so happy to take last place. That may seem wild to you guys, especially if you're competitive, especially if you're athletic. But you have to understand, I came from somebody that, like, as a 30-year-old, I had never spent more than like 3 months at one time in a gym, okay? So for me to have even been able to compete, even been able to log press the weight, was an extreme accomplishment. But it was also just that first brick that I put in front of me so I could take the next step. And once I realized that I didn't need to compare. I didn't need to compare to Luke. I didn't need to compare to this, this destination of where I want to go. That can stay my goal, but what I need to compete with is right here and right now, like the boots on the ground. That's where growth happens, okay? Is when your boots on the ground and you're actively working to better yourself. And then fast forward to today, I'm deadlifting, my competition coming up this week is going to be 475 pounds for reps. I can definitely get 1 rep at 475. I've done it in training, and I'm hoping to push myself and get 2 without injuring myself, right? So going from not being able to lift 225 to now being close to 500 pounds, that's, oh my gosh, that is fan-freaking-tastic. I'm so excited. And I'm not done yet. This is just the beginning, right? I'm just almost 4 years in, and I'm saying it's just the beginning. And that's how I want to have the outlook on my Pokemon business. That's the kind of outlook that I want to have when it comes to my YouTube channel. We just hit 1,000 subs. That was an accomplishment that I didn't even know if it was possible, right? But we did it. Thanks to all of you guys watching, we did it. And now we're on track to go further. Are we gonna hit 2,000? Are we gonna hit 5,000? I don't want to put a limit on it. You know what I mean? 1,000 was already so amazing, and the next step I need to take is just to be consistent with my content. And this is where we're gonna start wrapping it all into our big picture, which is 90% of people fail. Within 2 months, guys, of your resolution. 65% of all small businesses will fail within 10 years. How do we stop that? Well, I think first and foremost, it comes right down to boots on the ground, that super close view of your life, taking account, being self-aware. What do you know? What do you not know? What do you need to know to make the next step in your business journey, to make the next step in your content creation journey, in your fitness journey? What is it? And I bet you already know. Because honestly, I follow James Clear. He wrote Atomic Habits, really amazing author and everything. I follow him on Instagram. Everyone should follow him on Instagram. He posts these just golden nuggets. And I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember exactly, and I'm recording on my phone, so there's no way I can look it up, and I'm not going to pause the video because I don't edit. Okay, let's go. James Clear just posted something today that was like so brilliant. And now that I'm hyping it up, I hope I don't forget it, right? But basically, he was saying that it's gone. It's totally gone. We'll come back to it if we can. But yeah, basically, you need to have this really close look at what the next step is. And you do that by being self-aware. The James Clear quote was about being self-aware. It was about knowing, it was about the kind of topics that we're talking about, but it was so brilliant and I just had it and it's gone. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to keep going. Follow James Clear on Instagram though. So how do I know? How am I so confident that you probably already know the next step you need to do? Well, there's a couple different reasons. Number one is because you're watching this video. You're watching this video probably because you're interested in Pokemon business content. Maybe you're interested in becoming a content creator and you said, oh, I think this is interesting. This guy's kind of a smaller channel, but he made it to 1,000 subscribers. Let's hear what he has to say about this topic. Like, you're here because you have an interest in something about this content creation genre and niche that we find ourselves in. Now, I want to ask you something. How many videos have you created in the last week? And be honest with yourself. Have you created any? Has it been one or two? Have you posted them? Maybe you've recorded them. Maybe you've edited them, but you don't think they're good enough to go live and you're waiting. You feel like your content needs to be perfect. Now, for the Pokemon business people, have you created your TCG Player eBay account? Have you? You can be honest because I'm not asking you to comment below. You don't have to do none of that. This isn't confession. But be honest with yourself as you're watching this. Have you created your account yet? And if you have you listed cards yet? And maybe you did make a couple sales today or this week. High five, that's freaking amazing. Let's go. But have you worked on, securing another collection to sell? Have you bought your next bulk lot that you need to start sorting? Or maybe your bulk is in your closet still. Maybe you wanted to start by selling some of your collection, but you haven't actually walked in and gotten your collection out to start evaluating what you want to sell. You see what I'm talking about? Like, you can start to piece together the puzzle. You can start to figure out what is the next brick I actually need to put into the ground. This is really practical stuff. This isn't like real heady. This isn't like feel good, like philosophical talk, okay? It has to do with some of that. But what I'm talking about is the hardcore practical reality that is right in front of you. Why are you not a YouTuber yet? Well, it's probably because you're holding on to those videos and you're not posting them. Listen to me, your first 100, 200, 300 videos are not going to be what you want them to be. It's going to take time for you to lay bricks. Every time you post that video that you know you want it to be better, you need to post it. You need to watch it. You need to learn from it so that you can then post the next one and the next one and the next one. And you just incrementally, small incremental change, improvements over time will make you more and more successful, will make you more and more likely as well to stick with it and not be in the 90% that quit after 60 days. Okay, like this is a long game, okay? Whether you're training to get healthy, whether you're posting content to be a YouTuber, whether you just created your TCG player, you're level 1 going on level 2 and you have 100 cards listed, but you're only selling like 2 orders a week. All of this is the super practical stuff that will get you from where you are to where you want to go, and that is extremely important. To avoid being the 90%, you have to do what only the 10% are willing to do, okay? About 10%, maybe even less. Like if you really extrapolate, it's probably far less than 10%, but we're gonna go with this 90-10 illustration because that's what I'm on right now. Only 10% was willing to post their bad videos. You know what I mean? And a lot of the 10% that posted their bad videos are now the people you look up to and watch every single day. Let that sink in. What that should do is, number one, should kind of like, it should kind of like gut punch you a little bit, not literally. It should kind of check you though, okay? The reality is that, whether you're Pokey Nostalgianomics, PokeRev, Twice Baked Jake, Danny Phantom. How many more people can I throw in there? Team Rocket Joey. Like, whether whoever your favorite content creator is, they all started from zero. Okay? Life isn't fair. Some of them had unfair advantages. Maybe some of them, like PokeRev, he's really comfortable in front of a camera. He's always been that way. I don't know. I don't know PokeRev. But all of us have unfair advantages. And it's how we leverage those unfair advantages that can help us get to places quicker. But all of us start at zero. And even if you have no unfair advantage, which you probably do if you think about your life experiences, I bet you know something about something that I don't know about. You know what I mean? All of us start at zero. And it doesn't matter if you have huge unfair advantages or if you have none. Some of our journeys will be a bit slower than others, but all of us can wind up at the destination we're going to if we look at what's in front of us, take the practical steps to lay the next brick in the yellow brick road to get to Emerald City. You know what I mean? Like, we're all getting there, guys. If that's not the actual name of the city, y'all correct me down below. I haven't watched Wizard of Oz in a minute, okay? I'm going with the illustration. Don't judge me, okay? Here's the last thing I want to end with, okay? And that means we're about halfway through the video. I don't think we're halfway through. I think we're really closing it down here. As I want you to be successful. And I've really harped on this like next step kind of idea. And I think that that's the crux of it. Because if every day you can come to your Pokemon business, you can come to your business, you can come to your YouTube channel, you can come to whatever goal you're going to, you can just, every day you can wake up and say, what's the next thing? What is the one thing that I can do today that will help me become better in my business, in my fitness journey, in my YouTube, my journey to be a YouTuber? A lot of times those little steps are way easier than you think they are. I think we overthink things, we overanalyze things, we overconsume content. It paralyzes us, and we don't know what to do next because we've overconsumed whenever we actually just needed to do. Okay, I'm getting really philosophical, but here we go. This is where I'm going to end it. I'm going to try not to rant too much about this, but this is big. Okay, this is heavy. Sometimes failure is good. Sometimes failure is exactly what you need in order to grow. I'm going to wrap it back into Strongman. The only way you can hit new PRs, personal records, get stronger, is if you train. And when you train to failure. A lot of people do. But I promise you, like whenever I train, there are times I go for a PR on log press, a PR on deadlift, and I fail it. I have to go through all the work to get warmed up, all the work to do my initial lifts, to get ready for that one max rep pull that I'm trying to hit my max weight. My new PR, I'm so excited going into it. I'm nervous. I've never done this before. I'm stepping into the unknown, and I try to do it and it fails. It absolutely fails. And I have to go home and sit in the failure. I have to go home and be self-aware that I failed. The one thing I set out to do that week, to hit a new PR on deadlift, it failed. For a long time, my plateau on deadlift was about 380 pounds, 385. And I never thought, like, there was literally several months of my strength training journey that I never thought I would hit 400. I thought I had hit my peak. 2 years into training, hit my peak. And for anybody that's actually a strength athlete or trains strength, you guys are laughing at me right now because it's a long game. Okay, even 4 years into it, I'm kind of a newbie still. You know what I mean? And I don't have much room to talk, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I, for months, thought that I would never hit 400. And then one time I went to go work out with my friend named Tank. Tank is a tank, as you could probably guess. Tank is awesome. I was telling Tank, because he competed at that first competition too. He got gold. He got first place in his division. Absolute beast, absolute tank. I told Tank, I said, hey man, I'm having some trouble with deadlift. I'm really frustrated. I can't hit 400. I kind of feel like I've kind of maxed out. He's like, hey, come work out with me. So I go to this brand new gym. I'm nervous. So we're doing deadlifts. He's repping like 600 pounds. He's prepping for nationals and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, wow. There I was again. There I was again. Just like I was with Luke. I was looking at the destination saying, dang. But I had that realization. And thanks to like Tank's encouragement that day, I pulled 415. 415. 10 pounds more than I had set out to do that night. And it was all because I had some encouragement from somebody else. And, having community and being around people is so important. But that's not the topic for this video. We'll talk about that for another one. But yeah, because of that, I was able to push through the failure. But I couldn't have made it to 415 on deadlift if I hadn't experienced the failure before that. Sometimes we have to step into the unknown. We have to try new things. We have to take risks. This is especially true in business. You have to deploy capital on a new collection or product that you're not really sure how you're going to unload or sell effectively for the profit. You may take a loss on it. You may take a failure, and that's okay. And to really wrap it up here, I can't believe we're already at 25 minutes. This is a really good topic though. I said I was going to talk a little bit about my time in ministry. Well, I was a pastor for about a little bit over a decade, which is crazy to say. And around the time that like COVID was happening, my wife and I got pregnant with our second child, which is super exciting and super awesome. And that realization of that experience and some other things happening in our lives, like it was like this, like I said, 90% fail, right? I didn't feel like I was going to fail, but I hit this moment where I was like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff happening in life. Like the reality, the gravity of everything hit me right there. And I started to pray about, because I'm a spiritual person. Like I started to pray about things. And I realized like, man, maybe it's time to look at some other career options. And when I started to talk to my wife about it, talk to my closest friends about it, like this kind of peace came over me. And I'm not trying to get spiritual, but what I'm really getting at here is like a lot of people viewed me exiting ministry as if I failed, as if I burned out and failed as a pastor. But it's the furthest thing from the truth. The truth is that I took a lot of time to do some like self-realization, to really consider what my priorities were in my life, like my family always comes first. And all of those priorities, all of those things helped me decide that it was the proper time to take a pivot, to pivot out of what I had known, everything that I had known and the career that I had built up and in the life that I had built, and say, you know what? I feel really at peace and comfortable with a pivot into something else. And people viewed that as if it was a failure, as if it was burnout. But the truth is that was the best thing for me and for my family. And it has proven to be such an amazing decision that we made. And so what I'm trying to say is sometimes failure is the right thing. And sometimes it can appear as if it's failure. Like for you trying to start your YouTube channel, for you guys starting your Pokemon business, you may come to a similar point in your journey. It could be 2 months from now. It could be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And you could be very successful with what you do, extremely successful. But you may come to a point where maybe life takes a turn. Maybe something happens in your life and you start to contemplate, like maybe it's time to make a pivot. Now, you may feel nervous about that because you start to think to yourself, like, people will view this as if I failed. And at the end, like, what I'm trying to say is, who cares? Make the decision that's best for you. And don't forget this. Every experience that you had along the way, every brick that you laid to get to your destination, all of that doesn't just go away when you change, when you pivot to something new. All of those experiences, all of those examples of the failures and successes of reaching your destination and then going for another goal and destination in the future, like all of those experiences, all of those lessons, all of that maturity that you've learned and picked up along the way, all of that will translate and transition to the new thing. A lot of you guys are so interested in starting a Pokemon card business because it's what you're passionate about right now. A lot of you guys are interested in becoming a YouTuber because that's what you idolize right now and that's what you see online. You want to have that lifestyle. But here's the truth, is some of you guys would make killer, financial analysts. You guys would make amazing web developers. You guys would make amazing entrepreneurs, but in a different industry. Some of you guys will take the lessons you're learning from your Pokemon business now and then translate that into another business that is gonna skyrocket what you're doing, is gonna be what makes you successful in your life. Some of you guys are gonna take what you're learning from YouTube or your business and translate that into a separate career. And that's what's gonna project you and propel you into the next level, the higher levels of that career, and allow you to impact the people around you. Do not shortchange the little baby steps you're taking right now, because those things are so huge and will help prepare you for the next chapter of your life. Whether that's YouTube, whether that's a Pokemon business, or whether that's being an accountant. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's 30 minutes into the video. We're gonna wrap up here. Let me know your thoughts down below. Was this helpful? I really hope it was. Man, I talked about a lot of stuff, man. You guys know my deepest, darkest stuff, like being in ballet in like 6th and 7th grade. It was mandatory at the fine arts school, and that's where I'm gonna end it. Bye, guys. Bye.